Alright, what up? Welcome back. This is a huge one for us today. This is a big one. Big video. I'm stoked. It's still messy. We'll get there. Bear with me. Lately, I've admittedly lost myself a little bit, okay? I've not been posting as many videos as I would like to. Hopefully by the time this one gets out, that will have changed. But that's not what I'm talking about. The core... Oh, I'm gonna get so much shit for this. Okay, the core directive of my channel is that I don't like Nikons. And like lately, I've been shooting so much with the F3. I've been loving it. Like absolutely loving the F3 in ways that I never thought I would. Just kidding, that's a lie. The first time I like messed with the F3, I was like, this is it for me, I love this camera. But we're back to it. Oh, this is so stupid. We're back to it. We're back to hating on Nikons. Here we have an FE. This is probably one of my least favorite cameras for any number of reasons, really. I will grant you that they are good. When they work, they are great cameras. So right out the gate, all the people who are typing in the comments like, oh, the FE's a great camera. Yes, it is. However, bear in mind that typically when I see an FE, it is not in good condition. This one is no exception. Yeah, infinite wind. That happens on these cameras quite often. It happens also on the FM, but not as much. And also, this camera just does not work most of the time. The FE more generally speaking. Because Nikon's electronics are terrible. Now, I'm saying this as someone who has spent a lot of time trying to understand them, and I don't have any kind of electrical engineering degree. I have an art degree, but still, you'd think at a certain point in time, shit would just make a little bit more sense. It doesn't, though. Each system seems to be completely bespoke of itself, and it's just really silly. So basically, the infinite winding is not an electrical issue, it is a very physical issue, and that would be right in here. Now you can see there's this little arm that sits right here. Now there's this brass little hand that pushes this in, and that is going to stop it from advancing. So it's basically just as simple as maneuvering that back into place. If there's not enough tension, we'll just continue to do that. If there's just a little bit of tension, we'll stop. You can shoot. And then, yeah, you catch the drift. It's very difficult. I don't like this. I don't really like doing this. I think it's very tedious. I think it's obnoxious. I would like for this to just work more generally, but it's not going to, because why would it? It feels nice to be back on the Nikon hatred bandwagon. Again, it's a great camera if it works. I just so often see these not working. And it's really like these little minute pieces here that usually endure a lot of use over time. And it's literally just like a tension thing. And so, over time, it loses that tension, and thus is now an issue, if that makes sense. I think it does. And I found that like as the camera is more like marketed to like a professional on that level, the use case is usually a lot higher than it would be for like an amateur, right? Like an amateur is not going to use the camera as aggressively as a professional would. So a lot of the issues that would plague an amateur camera are usually going to be a little bit more straightforward. Whereas with the Nikons, because they would go, typically, this is just a very rough generalization, but because they would go to places that typically a tourist or an amateur camera or a student camera wouldn't go, the issues that they experience are usually a lot more bespoke to that particular kind of camera. So that makes the repair process a little bit more complicated and my job just a little bit more difficult. That's my suspicion, at least. I have a similar thought with like why expired Fujifilm tends to last a little bit longer than Kodak film, because the people that used it were of a more professional nature. Look at that. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. But I don't know how true that is exactly. It's just conjecture. But simply put, the Nikon FE is a fine camera if they work. This is one of the things that happens on them like regularly, and it's one of the easier things to fix on them. Other things that have happened, I think I've talked about this before, but the battery compartment can go bad, and that is just a whole string of issues there. But really this is like the simple fix solution to stop the infinite wind issue is just to reform this little band right there, which is applying the tension to this little catch right there for the advanced system. It's really dumb. It is really dumb. But believe it or not, that is the fix. Now, some people, like my old boss, would look at this and he would say, oh, it's fine, it's a lubrication issue. And then he would take it from me and then just dump a bunch of oil in it. And he said, see, now it works totally fine. While not actually displaying that it worked fine, he would just reassure me that it does. And then I would try to use it, and then obviously it wouldn't work. And I tried to explain to him it's like more of a physical thing, this, that, and the other. Did not believe me. Showed it to him many times. Didn't, but it's fine. Point being, it's an easy fix, but it's not lubrication easy. That's pretty much it. Excuse me. Oh, sleepy. I am sleepy. I need coffee. Coffee. Okay. Yeah, that's terrible. That is bad. That's like 2-day-old reheated coffee right there. That is 3-day-old? 3-day-old reheated coffee. We are doing really well today. Anyway, that's pretty much the easy fix for the Nikon FE. Fairly straightforward. If you have any questions, do comment down below. That being said, also real quick, that might not be the only issue. If that is coming up and that doesn't fix it, there's a lot more issues. Fortunately for this one, that appears to be the only problem with it. But I've seen a lot of other like weird advanced issues with these, so I think that disclaimer should be put out. But this is something that, like, if you have a little screwdriver, you could probably get to by yourself. I wouldn't recommend taking off that little brass armature unless you have the camera set down perfectly still, because that little silver catch does just kind of hang loosely. There's also a brass washer that needs to be put in a very particular place. So just err on the side of caution. If you have any questions, comment down below. I will try to get back to you. But I do think that was fairly straightforward, and I think you saw everything I did. So if you have any questions, I'll get back to you, do my best. But yeah, these are just kind of finicky. And honestly, if you're having this issue, shoot me an email, and I would rather just take care of it for you rather than have you try it yourself and then break it, because that might give you a bit of a bigger headache than it would give me. And I am kind of resistant to Nikon headaches at this stage in my life, so pretty stoked about that. But anyway, that is all. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more content. Appreciate it as always, and I'll catch you on the next one.